Welcome back to Afternoon Live. 10 years ago, our next guest was stunned with the news that her husband had died by suicide. Desperate to make sense of it all, she turned to researchers and experts, hoping to find answers that would help her cope. She shares her story in her debut memoir, Us After, a memoir of love and suicide. We welcome author and former Willamette Week reporter, Rachel Zimmerman. It's great to have you back in Portland.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
We were just talking about your years that you spent on the West Coast.
Yes, fond memories of Portland.
Well, I'd love to hear just more about your husband, Seth. He just sounded like such a vibrant person.
He really was. He was a devoted father, a beloved robotics professor at MIT. He was close with his parents and his brothers and his extended family. So, you know, he really had a robust social network.
Yeah.
So not the kind of person who you imagine might have these suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, he was never diagnosed with any serious mental illness.
Yeah.
And again, he was super high functioning, building robots, and our kids were 8 and 11 when he died, and he was so devoted to the kids.
Yeah.
He used to hang out in their classrooms, and one mother once said to me, "Does this guy really have a job? Because it's like late in the morning and he's still here in the kids' classrooms."
He's just enjoying his time there.
Exactly.
Well, and I imagine it's hard to believe that 10 years have passed and how much your and the girls' lives have changed.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
You know, it took me a long time to write this book. I think grief is so individual, and of course it ebbs and flows, and the sort of tidy stages of grief have sort of largely been debunked, right?
Yeah.
Everybody experiences it different ways. You feel like you've moved forward, and then you see somebody who sort of has the same body type as the person who died, and you're just pulled right back, right? But in many ways, we have evolved. They were 8 and 11 when he died. Now they're 19 and 21 in college, incredible young women.
Yeah.
So, you know, life goes on. Obviously, not simply,
No.
you know, not without pain, but I think it's very human to sort of put one foot in front of the other and try to survive.
Well, and the three of you did that together as a team, and I was just so struck reading by the village around you, the friends and the devoted family members who just came right in and they stuck with you through all of it.
Absolutely. I just, the importance of our community was incredible. You know, we were in our very unlucky situation, actually pretty lucky.
Yeah.
We were materially stable. He had left life insurance so that we could stay in our home. The children could stay in the school that they had been in since they were 4. And I had this incredible community, largely of moms, and they just circled around me, and it was kind of like, here's some Greek yogurt for you. I thought you might need some protein. Here, it's on your doorstep. We don't have to talk, you know. We'll pick your kids up for gymnastics or taekwondo or birthday parties. You know, they'll pick up the phone in the middle of the night if I'm anxious or freaking out. And, you know, it wasn't always the people I imagined who would lean in to me at that time. Some people just, it's like so much pain, and suicide is still so misunderstood and stigmatized. But then there were other people who I wasn't even super close with who just were like there for me constantly, even beyond the sort of the initial week or two of casseroles. And
Right. Well, and then as time passes, and as you say, you kind of trudge through this life one foot in front of the other, as you develop this group of moms supporting each other, when they go through dark days, you can be there for them, and that's such a beautiful experience.
Yes, it was noticeable for me when, for the first time, other moms were coming to me for support, and I thought, okay, I've passed through into another dimension of mutual support.
Well, and you have, I mean, the book is just so beautiful. You write, it's such a human experience. I think a lot of people can relate to the highs and the lows and the tough, ugly things. And you end in a beautiful place where we get to meet your new husband, Munji, and the beautiful life that you all have made together, this new blended family that's taken a lot of work.
Absolutely. I mean, when this first happened, my older daughter said to me, "Mom, will we ever be happy again?" And I said, yes, but I didn't believe it.
Right.
You know, I thought we were just doomed, that the kids would just never get over the death of their father. I would never come back to myself.
Yeah.
And yet you do. And 5 years after Seth's death, I married, believe it or not, another MIT professor. And we have this blended family. He has a daughter, so we have these 3 girls.
Yeah.
And, you know, they call each other sisters, and they're pretty close. And it's kind of it's hard for me to believe that
Right.
the arc has been as
Yeah.
it has. And, you know, I sort of like to think of this book as coming to the point of, you know, the good in what remains. Because
Yeah.
as you said, we all have trauma and loss, right, as adults. It's
Yeah.
hard to avoid it in life. Not everyone has, you know, my situation, but something.
Yeah.
And people muddle through with support, with being attuned to their children, and, you know, being open again to pleasure and joy.
Yeah, it's possible. It's out there waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining us. I just love the book so much. I'm so
Thank
thrilled
you,
for you. Thank
Hannah.
you for sharing with us. Rachel has a book event tonight at 6 p.m. It's at Broadway Books on Northeast Broadway. We'll have all the details for you on our website. The book again is Us After. For more information, just head to our website, katu.com. And if you or someone you know is struggling or contemplating suicide, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24/7 with judgment-free support. Just text or call 988 to speak to someone now. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.